Hey guys, I'm Dov, and today I'm back with some more Total War Warhammer 2 news. Creative Assembly has released the free Lord that is coming alongside the Prophet and the Warlock, and it is the Lord that I personally was hoping for and thought would be the most likely, which is Tic-Tac-Toe. Yes, indeed, we're getting another Skink Lord, folks, which makes sense to go along with the Prophet and the Sotek. The Prophet of Sotek, I should say, and the whole storyline there makes sense to bring along another Skink Lord. Tic-Tac-Toe is sort of your aerial specialist of the Lizardmen. I am not any kind of lore master by any means, but from what I understand, he is the leader of like the Pterodons and the Ripperdactyl riders and stuff. So yeah, he's going to be an air power focused lord here. He's not a caster, he's only a combat focused lord, so whereas a Tenenhuan is like a hybrid caster combat lord, Tic-Tac-Toe is going to be strictly combat only, and I doubt, it doesn't say here, but I doubt that he'll have any of the big monster mounts. I imagine that he'll only be able to take a flying mount, and may not even be able to go on the ground either. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, Tic-Tac-Toe floods the skies with deadly Pterodons and Ripperdactyls for ultimate air superiority in his faction. I forget which faction this actually is, but yeah. Precision strike with a swift and deadly maneuver. The Master of the Skies can utilize the speed of his forces to cut down his foes while they're still preparing their defenses. So this is, I'm sure, like an upgraded lightning strike in campaign. Should be a very interesting ability to play around with. I'm curious to see how it actually works. Creative Assembly is currently streaming over on Twitch and I want to say YouTube as well. With Tic-Tac-Toe, I'm going to have a link to that stream down in the description below, so you guys can go check it out. But yeah, Tic-Tac-Toe aerial superiority. Tic-Tac-Toe leads only the most capable riders into battle with great speed and strength. They overwhelm the opposition under a hail of fire and swooping charges. So I'd imagine that he'll give some like charge bonus, speed buffs potentially, maybe some weapon strength and missile damage buffs as well. We'll have to kind of wait and see, but this one I'm curious to see if this is like an area of effect around him that could potentially be implemented into multiplayer. Could be a nice little addition, sort of like Alberic's area of effect charge bonus. That's just a constant buff. It would be very useful to have that, paired with the Ripperdactyls. I'd be curious to see if you could make it work, like flying him just above a couple Carnosaurs as well, and maybe, I guess if it only affects flying units, then maybe it wouldn't affect Carnosaurs, but we'll have to see exactly, if it affects ground units, if it affects flying units as well, or only flying units, rather. We'll have to see kind of what that effect entails. Drop Sphere of Tepok. He has a Drop Rock himself, a deadly magical payload, dropped from the skies onto unsuspecting foes that can crush the enemy and break their stride. So it's a magical payload, so I'd imagine it does magic damage. It's going to slow down their speed. Break their stride, to me, says it'll have a speed debuff component as well. Crush the enemy. I'm curious to see if it'll have a morale leadership component as well, because crush the enemy's spirits, or literally just crush the enemy. It might just do a bunch of damage. But nonetheless, should be a very interesting ability to play around with. Blade of the Ancient Skies, one of his items, a deadly blade carved from the bone, this little thing right here, which is just awesome looking. Carved from the bone of beasts, brings a piercing edge to aerial battles. Okay, so he'll give armor piercing, I'd imagine, to himself, maybe in an area of effect around him as well. Mask of the Heavens, the mask blessed by the Skink Priests of Lustria, the Mask of the Heavens, this little guy right here, which again looks awesome. Provides vital protection from stray arrows flying through the skies. Okay, so that's got to be like an area of effect missile resistance, or maybe just a missile resistance for only Tic-Tac-Toe himself. But being that he's probably going to be a relatively light, doesn't look like he's wearing a whole lot of armor. Being that he's going to be a relatively light, fast attack style combat lord, that missile resistance from the Mask of Heavens will certainly be a really nice benefit to him. And yeah, we'll kind of have to wait and see, obviously, what the specific values for all of these are, which ones are going to be available for multiplayer. Obviously, like the Eye in the Heavens, Precision Strike, those are more campaign-only type abilities, but this Aerial Superiority, obviously the Drop Sphere he'll be having in multiplayer, and then the two items, I'd imagine both would be implemented to multiplayer as well. We'll kind of have to wait and see whether they'll be like passive effects, active effects. The Mask of the Heavens could be something like the Lewin's, the Lion's Shield, where it's more of an active effect, or it could be more like Mazdamundi's Standard, the Sunburst Standard of Hexawaddle, which just gives a constant missile resistance. So there's definitely some questions as to how these different mechanics will work, but certainly I am very excited for Tic-Tac-Toe, and I just kind of wanted to address something here real quick with all of you. I've seen a lot of whining, for lack of a better word, from the community and complaining. Like, I get that, you know, if you're not planning on buying the DLC, maybe you can't afford it or whatever, totally understandable. Then you're not necessarily going to get the full benefit out of Tic-Tac-Toe because you won't have access to the Ripperdactyls. That is true. I mean, that is a valid point, but I really don't think that that's worth getting up in arms about. It always kind of blows me away that whenever Creative Assembly releases any kind of content, especially free content, people tend to complain about it quite a lot. And I get, maybe it wasn't the Lord that you wanted. It's not Gorok, it's not Nakai. I get that. But at the same time, that's like somebody handing you a free beer and saying, well, no, but I wanted a stout. This is a lager. Does that make sense? Does that kind of... It's like... we're getting him for free, right? You literally don't have to do anything. You just happen. So, I get that people wanted other characters, but at the same time, there's still plenty more time left for Total War Warhammer 2. From the blog update posts that they've been posting, maybe once a month or so, of what the teams have been working on for the past few months, they do mention the game for Game 3 in development of the new title, but they're still mostly, from the last time I remember they posting an update, they're still mostly in pre-production, which means that Game 3 is still a ways away. Like, I would guess 2020 or later for Game 3's release. Now, what that means is we have many months left, possibly a year or more left, of Total War Warhammer 2. Something tells me Creative Assembly is not just going to be sitting on their hands that whole time. So, if we do end up getting more DLC, there will be more free content alongside it, and I can only imagine that they'll continue to add free lords, especially to the Game 2 races. Considering that, vampire counts have 1 billion lord selections, it's only fair, really, that they keep adding more lords to the other various factions. So, there's still a possibility we could get Gorok or Nakai, or, any of the Lizardmen characters that have yet to be implemented, or any character for any faction, for that matter. Any of them can still be added. There's still, even in Game 3, they could decide, hey, you know what? Let's go back and let's add some free content to some of the Game 2 races, like they have done with the Game 1 races. We've got the Vampire Counts Bloodline Lords, we're getting Alberic's Trident, which I know is not like a crazy free content update, but still, like they're going back, they're updating the Game 1 races. Who's to say they won't do the same once we get to Game 3 for the Game 2 races? We could see more Lords added at that point, so yes, I know we don't get to play with them right away like you guys might have wanted to, but at the same time, I mean, we're getting this guy who, me personally, as somebody who likes playing like all Goblin builds, I really like all Skink builds as well. I think having another Skink Legendary Lord is awesome, and having somebody who's kind of a flying specialist really puts a punctuation mark on the fact that the Lizardmen are going to be a powerful flying faction now, and it's definitely something to take into account. But, that being said, just try and stay calm, guys. More content will follow, and even if the Lord that you wanted didn't get released now, we're still getting a free, not only are we getting Tic-Tac-Toe, but Lord Croak as well, which is, a huge piece of free content. A legendary hero, which is the first, I guess if you count the Green Knight, but, just added into an existing faction for free, right? So there's a lot of good precedent being set with this DLC, I think, in terms of the free content that's coming alongside it. I just, I got a little annoyed today as I was reading through some comments on Reddit and the forums, and also watching Creative Assembly's Twitch stream, and there were just a lot of people complaining that this wasn't what they wanted, and that, you know, that it's some kind of grand tinfoil hat conspiracy to try and sell more DLCs because, you know, Tic-Tac-Toe's half of his units are locked behind a paywall, when in reality it's one unit that's in the DLC. And, you know, you still can get plenty of benefit with Tic-Tac-Toe, just buffing up Pterodons. You still got Skink Priests, Skink Chiefs that can take flying mounts. Likewise, you know, you can summon Manticores. I mean, there's still plenty of opportunity to get good synergy out of Tic-Tac-Toe. Obviously, you won't get everything, but still, you know, I really don't think it's worth necessarily getting all up in arms over. Let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments down below, though. I'm interested to have a dialogue and discussion with you guys about it. If you are frustrated about getting Tic-Tac-Toe, why? And what would you rather have seen in his place? I'd be curious to have that discussion with you guys, so let me know in the comments down below. Hope you guys enjoyed watching. If you do like this sort of content, be sure to like, subscribe, hit that bell notification button, so every time I upload a new video, you'll be notified. I'm going to have a battle report releasing later today. Just wanted to cover this quick bit of news. And yeah, if you do like what I do here on the channel, you want to support me more personally, feel free to check out the Patreon page. I want to be posting more content there going forward, and you know, some other goodies there. So if you want to be more involved in the channel, have some say over what I do, be sure to check that out. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next time.